I'm Davey.
I'm Misty.
DM Watts.
Unscripted.
Unedited.
Unapologetic.
Let's get it. What's going on, everybody? I am Davey.
I'm Misty.
And you guys, welcome to another episode, or welcome back to DM Watts. It's about that time again.
It's
another week. So it is Monday. You guys, welcome.
Monday.
It's Monday. So our weekend was full of everything.
Oh, it was very peoply around here.
There's a lot of people around here.
There's a lot of people around here.
We had a little birthday party for our son, and then a lot of people showed up. A lot of people showed up. We had a
massive Magic the Gathering tournament thing.
If you have never played Magic the Gathering with couples, don't.
Yeah.
It is.
So one of our sons and his girl had it down like to a science, and they're like, well, it's not that hard. And I'm like, yeah, well, maybe it's because it's like midnight. So
yeah, it was late.
And I'm like, babe, here's another land. Just play what you're gonna play. I'm not even into it right now.
Yeah, it was a late night, but
it was a very late night. But it was fun.
It was fun. Yep. And so we're pretty happy about how all that went. So it is what it is on that one. So let's go ahead and get into it and say, hey, you guys may know we got just something a little bit at the top. Keep going, don't stop. So what do we mean by keep going, don't stop? Not to sound like generic with it or anything like that.
No.
But it's like when we say keep going, don't stop. I would just give an example. You know, hey, I got done with school. I graduated in '98, and I went and got my bachelor's degree in '07. I didn't go back to school to 2019 for my master's degree. You guys don't stop, whether it's a trade, whether it's, hey, I want to get into design, whatever it is that you want to do.
And he got his master's in 2020.
Yeah.
And so we just recently re-enrolled in school.
Yeah,
and you're going back for another bachelor's, right? Which you have many.
Yeah.
And I will be completing mine.
Right. So we're going to be walking across that stage together.
Yeah.
So we're pretty happy about that too.
I can't wait.
We decided to go back to school for the same thing.
Yep.
That interests us both. So we'll be heading back that way. So yes, and just below the keep going, don't stop, you guys will see the Ukraine colors.
Yes.
We are still praying for those people over there in Ukraine. Just because you may have heard a little less about it in the news doesn't mean that it isn't still going on. So please pray for those people in Ukraine. Even I say, please, again, to say, pray for the people of Russia, because not all of them feel the way that some do about being over there. DMWatchPodcast.com is where you guys can find us.
Sorry, we're really tired.
Yeah, it was a long day.
There was no silence this weekend.
No, it was a long weekend. DMWatchPodcast.com is where y'all can find us. We are on Spotify and all the streaming services. Catch us at the Doge, AMC, Sheba, Saitama. We still in the Saitama for some reason, and Terra.
Yep.
So, needless to say, we may be erasing a few things off that board and setting some stuff up.
Well, we've got our 1-year anniversary of the Watts podcast coming up, and we're going to be making some changes.
I'm sure
we'll get a new chalkboard.
Absolutely.
And we'll be going live as well.
Yeah, so you guys will be on the lookout. We got a few good things coming up. Absolutely. So, without further ado, my beautiful wife has pulled a fishbowl topic. What you got, baby? Life
skills in school. Pros and cons. What does that mean? Like
life skills.
Should they be teaching life
skills in school? The pros and cons of teaching life skills in school.
I believe that the demise of our society started when they took out life skills in school.
Because it used to be a class, right? Literally called life skills, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I mean,
depending on where you went to in school.
I mean, for the majority, it was home economics. But home economics wasn't just about sewing and cooking, which are, by the way, valuable skills. And you need to know that. But it was also
just cooking and so.
Well, no, but it also. Oh, okay, it was.
Yeah,
they didn't touch on like laundry and
my home ec was about
a checkbook or going grocery shopping or
my
anything
home economics was about cooking and sewing. That was our main focus in home economics. And
were you good at sewing?
No.
Oh.
I didn't learn more sewing. I didn't fully understand sewing until I went to a survival course in the Air Force. They teach you how to sew.
But see, I feel like we should have life survival and life skills in high school. I think we should be taught throughout, because you can teach throughout K through 12. You can teach what chores are. You can have a Friday in your classroom where it's a well, it's kind of Montessori style, but at the same time, you're teaching them to cook. You're teaching them how to make a snack, or you're teaching them how to fold laundry, or just aprons or whatever. They've got to understand, because we're really bad at it. Generations are really bad about teaching kids things.
Yeah, and I
the teachers just won't do it anymore because they're not allowed to.
Yeah, you never know. They may get banned for that now. Yeah,
and the teachers yell back, and it's just making this really bad thing. So if we give schools the power again, and we actually have a say and be like, no, we need help, and realize that you got to help at home and you got to help at school, and you're helping each other just like it used to be, we might have a better understanding of
absolutely. And so my big, a couple of things I'd say about the life skills one. I definitely could have benefited at a young age, learning how to write checks. At a young age. Now, granted, nowadays people rarely write checks. Nowadays people rarely write checks because in the digital age, right? And so, however, I think now with credit cards and everything's digital, I mean, hell, even with cryptocurrency, right? It's important to show, teenagers where they're about to be adults, like, hey, I think, and what really brings this point home I'm about to say is there's a commercial out. I can't remember what it's about, but this guy he said, looks at his phone while he's at his job, and he's like, I'm a millionaire. Then he's partying, he's like, I'm not a millionaire anymore. And then he's back, he's like, I'm a millionaire again. And it's just like how quickly it can happen. I think it's about budgeting or something like that. But seriously, there's nothing wrong with teaching kids about, budgeting, because I mean, we've dealt with it even with our teenage kids and older children now. It's like the only thing that lots of times the teenagers and even brand new adults think about is, I want that car, or I want this new shiny thing. I want that new phone.
I want the new phone.
I want the new Jordans. Computer. I want the new computer, so on and so forth. It's not, can I afford to continuously have that?
I want a tattoo. I want a piercing.
I want this new couch. You know what I'm saying? It's like, can you afford that? Can you budget those things
today?
Exactly.
Can we start there?
Right. So those are things that, I think learning about budgeting and order of importance, right? Because don't get me wrong, this is also a reason why they push for not having kids at such a young age, as a teenager, because there's so many things about life you're figuring out too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, let's be honest here. Your priority, I get it, is your kid. Sometimes though, your priority, you can take care of your kids, but sometimes your priority has to be, look, let's look at the order of precedence in these bills.
Sure.
We got to turn the heat on so I can put food in our kids' mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got to pay for the heat. So, or something like that.
See, it is what we call adulting. And,
yeah.
And I do believe that it should be taught in school. It used to be. And we need to go back to that, because the world is complicated. The credit system, highly complicated. And when you're coming out of high school and let's say you want to go to college or even a trade school, and let's say your family doesn't have a lot and you're going to get a school loan, you need to know that you took that course junior year or senior year that taught you about subsidized loans, unsubsidized loans, what all of it is, how to do it, how to navigate it, and what is expected of you. I don't understand why, they will automatically turn loose a 17, 18, 19-year-old and just be like, here's all this money for you to go to school, but we're not going to teach you about it.
Yeah.
And that hurts. Like, that bothers me, because we expect them to know all this stuff. And how are they going to know that? How do they know what credit is? And how having no credit is just as bad as having bad credit, because it's bad credit. And what the responsibility of a cosigner is and how detrimental that is. Like, it should be taught. Yeah.
And I think,
and let's be honest, some of us parents don't know.
Yeah. And because because I'm not gonna lie, my mom sat me down and taught me how to write a check. It was the most boring process I've ever dealt with in my life. I immediately was like, I will not write checks. And I've gone my entire life, and I think I've wrote 2 checks in my entire life, because I was like, I hated the system.
See, and I loved it.
Yeah, I hated it. I said,
But
in my opinion, I was like, this is ridiculous.
My uncle had a business. My great uncle had a business, and my aunt and my father. So they all had business checks, and they would, every so often they'd have to get a new book of checks or new checks.
Yeah.
And they would give me the old checks so I could play secretary or banker.
Yeah, start writing on the checks.
So like I vividly remember at 6 years old being taught how to do it so I could play.
Yeah.
And so I would pretend write checks. And I always had it didn't bother me when it came to bill pay and stuff. I was like, okay, well, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
But it's also part of society. We don't have to teach our children that anymore. But at the same time, what if the infrastructure falls? They're not going to know how to do anything without electricity.
Yeah.
They're not going to know how to count money back. They're not going to know how to do basic stuff because we do our banking online.
Yeah.
We do our bill pay online.
Yeah.
Like what life skills need to be taught then?
Yeah. Have a class called How to Survive.
I guess we're going back to basics.
Yeah,
It's grocery shopping. It's budgeting your money. It's how to get a job interview. It's, it's talking. It's sometimes even walking.
It is. And sometimes like
appropriate conversation would be a great thing to teach.
Our son went through a welding school.
Yeah.
Heartland Welding Academy. Shout out to Heartland Welding Academy in Wichita, Kansas.
You guys are the best.
You guys are the best. 6 months. See what they can do with you. Trust me.
Yeah.
You will not be disappointed.
Every penny.
Yep. Free advertisement right there. Free advertisement. But yes. But Heartland Welding, what we really enjoyed about Heartland Welding Academy, they're not just there to teach you to weld. No. You're going to go there and weld, and then they will say, all right, now you got to make a resume. Time for you to do a LinkedIn profile. Yeah. Time for you to sit here and work on, let's do cold calls. Networking. They teach you all the skills. How to fill out an application. How to do all these things. They teach you life skills that would only help you in the future with getting jobs and so on and so forth. And stuff like that.
And here's a class for you. How to fill out a job application when you're 16, 17, how to build a resume, how to do a LinkedIn. These are all things we need in our society today that you've got to have.
Yeah. And it's overlooked. People still look at the basics, whether you want to believe it or not. I had a conversation with one of our sons the other day, and he was like, well, I can get a job anywhere. Everybody's looking. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that is true. Yeah, I'm not saying that people aren't looking for jobs.
Everybody's got a help wanted sign. It's a great amount for money.
That is true. However, that is still the wrong mentality to have.
Yeah, because are they hiring?
Yeah.
Just because there's a sign in the window, are they going to hire you?
Well, and even if they do, these are always important skills to have under your belt. Even if they do hire you,
got to bring something to the table.
Because understand, from the moment you get hired, somebody is out there already waiting to take your place. Yeah. Waiting for you to screw up and take your place when it comes to that. So the life skills, I mean, it's important, because one of the many things I've learned with being with this woman here is that there's a lot of things that I would have just went out and spent money on instead of just literally like fixing it myself. Hey, well, we got to this is broke. Let's do this. Well, let's grab the screwdriver. Let's go ahead and fix this. Let's go ahead and do this. There's a lot of things, because most of the time you'll head out to the store and you're going to buy another one or whatever it is. Yeah. Right. Versus, hey, let's just learn to fix it ourselves. I mean, I've fixed the garbage disposal numerous times.
You have.
Numerous times instead of calling somebody to come fix it.
And the dishwasher.
Yeah. And so but those are things, think about in life skill. These are things that will happen to you eventually, like whether you're in an apartment or a house. Yeah. That's the stuff in life skills, whether you're going to college and you're in your dorm room and these things happen and the maintenance guy can't get there for 2 or 3 days. You're like, hey, I know how to fix this. You know what I mean? Those are things that, you really want to take a look at. Balancing your checkbook. Okay, for those like me that don't like checks, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But there are so many different programs now.
Oh, yeah.
Most banks give you a program
They have
There a
apps.
lot of banks that have an app and a program
And
that you can budget with.
Yeah, you can budget with it, absolutely. But let's be honest, we don't have to keep a checkbook anymore because the bank does it for us on our app.
Yeah,
You want to see what you've spent money on? Shows you
it
right
has
there.
them itemized right
and
there.
It totals it out for you right there.
Right there. Yeah.
And it's not always kind.
But that's true. Bargaining.
Oh, that's bargaining. A skill. I was never good at bargaining.
Yeah, bargaining. Well, I'm sorry, excuse me. When I'm saying bargaining, that too, I'll touch on that, but I'm telling you what I was meaning is like when you're talking about, okay, I only have a certain amount of money. You know, when we talk about, I guess it would be more so budgeting food, the food that you really want. It's like, hey, I can go to Walmart and get this, or let's think about this, that $100 at Walmart can give you almost $200 worth of stuff at Aldi's.
Oh yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So,
oh yes,
you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
So, but
or if you've only got $100 and you need food, yeah, of course go to Aldi. But also look at if you know how to cook.
Yeah,
you know how to make that $100 gourmet meals every night for 2 weeks.
Yeah, our son took me
amazing.
fishing, and you know what he did? We didn't do it, but with the one I caught, but he had caught 6 fish, and he went home, gutted them, and put them on the grill, seasoned them, put them on the grill. Yeah. And then he caught some more and went out and fried them. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, that's the stuff right there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There should be a class in school for teaching you how to fish.
And then apparently,
like, hey, how to prepare your own food.
He was at Walmart and they had the bakery rack, the day old bread rack. And my father was famous for day old bread shops. Mm-hmm. And he bought a whole bunch of French bread at 70 cents a loaf and froze it. And he was like, as I was talking to him about it today, he's like, I can have French bread pizzas. I can make garlic bread. He's like, I don't need to buy garlic bread. All I got to do is just bake the garlic butter. And I was like, I'm so glad you know how to do this stuff.
Yeah. And then, but that's what I mean. So now, mind you, that was 70 cents. There was 70 cents. That's what we talk about looking for, common sense stuff. Right. So trust me, sometimes we listen to people like young adults. And we're like, well, why don't you just do this? I don't want that. I said, that's the wrong approach. Like, I don't want it. It's about what do you need. It ain't about what you want. Yeah. It's about what you need. And that's what life skills, to me, there was a class called life skills that would, to teach you something.
That's
because
true.
let's be honest here. The life skills would also be like why, you know what I'm saying? In part of the syllabus would be why your parents are so upset you don't clean your room. This is why. This is why they're so upset when you don't clean your room.
Yeah.
This is why your parents are so mad when you do little things like leave the refrigerator open, leave the water running. You know what I'm saying? Little thing like teaching you like, hey, this is what happens because that little bit of water, now the water bill's inside, refrigerator open, now electricity bill's up high that you're not paying.
Well, and so my father, was a big proponent on life skills and learning how to do things for yourself. Even if you weren't good at it, you got to at least know how to do it. Because he'd always say money is fleeting. In our house, you could never say, well, Dad, I'll just hire someone. Can't we just hire someone? Mm-hmm. And he's like, and what if you don't have the money? Money is fleeting. Even if you have the money, why would you spend it on someone to come over to fix the garbage disposal if you can just disconnect the power and figure out what's wrong with it? And now with YouTube, my God, there is literally no excuse for you not to learn anything.
Not even the excuse can't even be I don't have Wi-Fi. How many shops out there, how many restaurants or McDonald's places and McStarbucks that'll give you free Wi-Fi? You can get on YouTube and be like,
I also feel like part of the growing experience as a child and a young adult is figuring it out for yourself, and YouTube can help you with that because we had encyclopedias, we had a library, we had books.
Y'all better ask somebody.
That's all YouTube is. As long as you're going and figuring it out, Google's your best friend.
Yeah, YouTube is the new Encyclopedia Britannica.
And even some of you adults out there.
Yeah.
Google it.
Yeah, Google it.
Like, you don't have to ask people for anything
Google
anymore.
or YouTube it. Because you can type that exact question in YouTube and you got a video on how to do it.
And, and I'm sure, and I've never done it, but I bet I could. I bet I could type in how to adults or life skills into YouTube. So for you parents out there that need help and don't know where to start there and start teaching your kids, hey, you guys need to watch this, you know, and this is what it's at. And I think laundry is a big one. Cooking's a huge one. How to grocery shop. That's
You know
a big
what?
one.
You know what would be in the life skills? How to garden.
Gardening.
How to gardening skills.
How to self-sustain.
How to grow self-sustaining food.
Yeah.
That is how to grow self-sustaining food. It's
And
like,
how, you don't really even have to buy seeds. Let's be honest. If you want to plant, go get an avocado. It makes a beautiful tree. It very rarely flowers or fruits, but you could still have a beautiful tree. You want more celery? Chop it off, put it in some water, get some roots going.
Yep.
Lettuce, chop off the bottom, put it in water, get potatoes. Like you can go to your grocery store, everything you cut off, you can plant.
You can plant.
So,
you can plant.
That's a big one. And I feel like they should teach that in school.
Yeah. And it's things like that, it may seem like a long rant, and that's fine. Whether you want to hear it or not, it's the truth though. I mean, you can't tell me over the past 3 or 4 months you ain't took your ass in the grocery store and be like, what the hell is going on with these prices?
Oh my
What
God.
is going on with these prices right now?
And I've always in the Midwest, to me, the produce has been ridiculous because I grew up in California where it was readily available. So it was always cheap.
Yeah.
And you come out here and I'm like, nah, we can grow this. And I mean, what are we always saying? We go to the store for collards and they're always freaking gone.
Yeah,
or there's
gone.
like 2 bunches left and they're the bad bunches, the picked over bunches.
Absolutely. So you guys gotta understand, look, right now, I mean, hell, we knew already, but it's reached the top where the president's like, hey, it's about to get worse.
Yeah.
He
at least is honest.
He's honest. So he's like, it's about to get worse. So if you don't know how to cook, if you don't know how to sustain with the things that you have, we went and got our seeds. We finna start gardening. That's about to happen because we about to get our.
We're letting the ground unthaw.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully it's ready. So, but yeah, you guys, look, check it out. If you got kids, talk to them about life skills.
Absolutely.
Teach them life skills. Or you could be like one of those parents that, like me, that really didn't know those things, but was willing to learn to tell my kids about them. And even now, there was things that I learned that I know I didn't teach them and they don't know. I still let them know, hey, how many times have we talked to our kids about different agencies they can get a hold of when they think there's no where to turn or no help or anything like that? You guys
Google.
Google.
Anytime somebody asks me a question, if I don't know off the hand exactly where to go, I Google it.
Absolutely, 100%. Google that shit. But hey, check it out, guys. That's our take on.
Tired.
Yeah, we tired, but that's our take on life skills.
Yes.
Was that what it was? Was it called the life skills?
Well, it was like the pros and cons of teaching life skills in school.
Look,
I think we're all pro.
Yeah, I don't really see no cons. I think the cons would be the kids that don't want to listen. You know what I'm saying? The rich person is in there just because to check a box, but I don't know. But we're good regardless.
I think it should be required.
Yeah, so check it out. You guys will check it at the top. Keep going. Don't stop.
Don't stop.
Do not stop, no matter what. We ain't just talking about school.
No, we're talking about everything.
Everything. Keep going. Don't stop. If you think that, man, everything I try fails, try it one more time.
You think you're scared now?
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop going.
And then see
Stop
what happens.
showing up, and you'll find out what real fear is.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Get back up on your horse and go.
Yep. So be also Ukraine. We are praying for Ukraine. We're praying for Russia, folks. Also, I know it sounds bad. Yep. You guys, dmwatchpodcast.com is where y'all can find us. Catch us on all the streaming services, including Spotify. You guys know the cryptos that we're in. I'm not going to say it. They're all there. And our service dog says, rough, it's bedtime. It's time.
We're tired.
It's tired. And hey, so signing off for DM Watch Podcast, I am Davey.
I'm Misty.
You guys, thanks for continuing to stay with us. We appreciate you. There's more to come. We'll check you next time on DM Watch Podcast.